Ever wish you could get paid to learn about crypto?
Yeah.
Well, today we're diving into something really cool. It's this learn and earn opportunity from Algorand and Coinbase.
Pretty clever way to get people some hands-on time with Algorand's top dApps.
Yeah. They've turned learning about Algorand into like one of those quests you see in games.
Right.
You complete tasks, you explore the ecosystem, and bam, you're earning algo and USDC.
What's really interesting to me is they're not just telling you about it, they're actually having you use it. Like Parawallet, Tinyman, even claim a .algo domain.
Yeah.
It's a crash course, but instead of paying, you get paid.
Right. Okay, so before we get too far, for those who might not be familiar, dApps are basically programs built on a blockchain,
Yeah.
like Algorand.
Yeah. Yeah.
No more centralized middlemen.
Exactly.
But back to the quests.
Yeah.
We even get to play around with NFTs on this platform called EXA Market. I've heard good things.
Yeah, and that's where you get to see one of Algorand's biggest strengths, really.
Hey.
Skeed. Remember when you funded your Parawallet in the first quest?
Oh, yeah.
Less than 3 seconds?
3 seconds? Seriously, that's faster than most of my online banking transactions.
Absolutely.
No wonder they're making waves.
That's right. And the best part, they don't expect you to be an expert. Even if blockchain is totally new for you, these quests break it all down, like step by step.
So it's not just about snagging some free crypto. It's about really getting a feel for how this tech actually works.
Yeah. It's one thing to read about it, but actually using it, that's when you really start to get, the potential impact.
Okay, so let's break these Coinbase learning rewards down a little bit more. They have these quests set up as like lessons, right?
Exactly. Like, it starts with, what is Algorand? Algorand 101 covers all the basics, features, strengths, and a little peek into how the ecosystem works. But the real gem here is the introduction to Parawallet.
Ah, yes, Parawallet, which conveniently is the focus of the very first quest. Download it, you find it super easy. But why is this particular wallet so important in the Algorand world?
Think of Parawallet like your all-access pass to the Algorand ecosystem. Sure, it stores your algo, but it's way more than that. It's how you interact with all those cool dApps we mentioned. Sending and receiving crypto, engaging with those applications, even establishing your crypto identity.
So it's kind of like our trusty sidekick for this Algorand adventure. And from what I've seen, it seems pretty user-friendly, even for someone who's totally new to all this.
Absolutely. Yeah, they've made it super intuitive. And speaking of intuitive, the Parawallet quest is where you get that aha moment with Algorand speed. Those near instant transactions are really something.
Yeah, I was blown away by how fast that was. Okay, so we've got our trusty Parawallet. We're starting to get the basics of Algorand.
Yeah.
What's next? Lesson 2.
Discovering DeFi and more on Algorand. Now we're getting into the really interesting stuff. Think real-world assets, stable coins.
Yeah.
It's like stepping into a whole new financial dimension.
And this isn't just theoretical, right? This sets us up for all the other really cool quests.
Right.
Speaking of which, let's talk Tinyman. This is where we get to experience decentralized trading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tinyman's kind of like they took the old stock exchange, right?
Yeah.
Got rid of all the middlemen and then just rebuilt the whole thing on the blockchain. Decentralized trading.
Exactly. And what's really cool is that Tinyman, like a lot of these dApps on Algorand, it's built on smart contracts. So these contracts, they automatically execute the terms of a trade.
Right.
It's secure, it's transparent.
Yeah, that's a relief.
Yeah.
I got to say, the whole DeFi space can feel a little, Wild West sometimes. Right. So in the Tinyman quest, we actually get to use our Parawallet and swap some algo for USDC.
Yeah.
That's pretty hands-on.
It's like a little intro to decentralized exchanges simulation, but with real crypto. Speaking of which, did you notice how low those transaction fees were on Algorand?
Oh yeah.
Like a fraction of what you'd pay on some of those other blockchains.
It was like pennies.
Right.
It really makes you wonder why anyone would even use those other more expensive networks. Okay, so we've got our Parawallet, we've tackled token swapping. Quest 3 is where things get serious. DeFi lending and borrowing with folks finance. I'm ready to put my crypto to work.
You and me both. This is where it gets interesting. You know how you'd put your money in a savings account?
Yeah.
And earn a tiny bit of interest? Yeah. DeFi lending is kind of like that, but potentially with much better returns because you're cutting out that middleman.
Okay, magic of DeFi. Break it down for me. I'm still trying to like fully wrap my head around how this whole lending and borrowing thing works in this decentralized world.
Okay, so imagine this. You want to lend out some of your crypto, right?
Yeah.
So instead of going through a bank, you lend it directly to other users on the Algorand blockchain through a platform like Folks Finance.
Okay.
They pay you interest, and it's all secured by, those smart contracts we were talking about.
Right.
And because it's all on the blockchain, everything's like super transparent.
So I'm basically like I become the lender, but without all the traditional banking like bureaucracy. It's pretty neat. But what about the risks? There's always a catch, right?
Well, like with any investment, yeah, there are risks.
Right.
The value of crypto can, go up and down. And while it's rare, there's always that theoretical risk of like smart contract vulnerabilities.
Sure.
But what I like about Algorand is that security is like, it's a top priority for them.
Yeah, that makes sense. So with Folks Finance, we're not just reading about DeFi, we're living it. Yeah. Learning by doing.
Exactly.
Now, Quest 4. This one feels particularly futuristic to me, claiming our own piece of the digital world.
Yeah, the metaverse is calling, or at least our own little corner of it, algo domains.
Right.
It's time to get ours.
I've always found it a little ironic we talk about this like decentralized future, but we're stuck with these impossible to remember wallet addresses.
Oh yeah.
Algo domains just seem like such a needed upgrade.
Yeah, and NF domains lets you register like a human readable address on the Algorand blockchain.
Right.
So think of it like your personal crypto identity,
Yeah.
Makes sending and receiving so much easier.
So it's like the difference between like remembering someone's name versus trying to remember their social security number.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. And this is another area where Algorand's efficiency really shines because the network is so fast and has those low transaction fees we were talking about. Registering an algo domain is way more affordable than it is on some of those other blockchains.
Okay. I'm seriously impressed with how like Algorand is making all this tech so accessible. I got to say though, I am a little bummed we're already on the last quest. This Algorand deep dive has flown by.
I know. But we saved the best for last. NFTs. Get ready to jump into the world of digital collectibles on EXA market.
Quest 5. This feels like the grand finale, claiming our very own NFT. I used to be pretty skeptical of NFTs, I'll admit.
Yeah.
But the more I'm learning, the more I'm seeing their potential. It's easy to get kind of stuck on that whole digital art thing with NFTs,
Right.
But it's so much bigger than that, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. NFTs they're like digital deeds of ownership.
Okay.
Verifiable on the blockchain.
Right.
Think about it. I mean, digital art, collectibles, sure, but also things like representing real world assets,
right,
event tickets, memberships. You could even have like property deeds on the blockchain as NFTs.
Right.
I mean, we're really just scratching the surface of what's possible here.
That's what's so exciting about it. It's like this whole new frontier of like ownership and value, but in the digital world.
Yeah.
And with EXA market being built on Algorand, I bet those transactions are just as smooth as the other apps we've been using.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Algorand's low transaction fees, that speed,
right,
perfect for NFTs. You don't need to be a crypto whale to participate or anything.
Right.
Creators and collectors, big or small, can they can buy, sell, trade without breaking the bank.
I gotta say, Coinbase and Algorand really nailed it with these learning quests. They could have, I don't know, just thrown a bunch of like technical jargon at us, but instead it was fun. It was hands-on.
Right.
And I'm walking away with more than just like theoretical knowledge, right?
Yeah.
I've got Algo, I've got USDC.
Exactly.
To show for it.
Yeah. It's a really great way to onboard people into the Algorand ecosystem.
For sure.
Honestly, the more people who are like actually using and understanding this technology, the better for everybody.
Absolutely. So big picture, after going through all of this, like what are your overall thoughts on Algorand's potential?
I think it's pretty clear that they're not just here to like ride the blockchain hype wave,
Right.
Algorand is building a really powerful platform here. And and it's versatile.
Yeah.
That speed, the scalability, the security, and they're really focused on sustainability too. There are a lot of boxes here that other blockchains are just not ticking.
Yeah. And they're not just talking about it. We're seeing it in action.
Exactly.
These quests gave us a real glimpse into how this tech can actually work in the real world.
Yeah.
What's got you most excited about like Algorand's real world applications?
Well, I mean, we've talked about DeFi, we talked about NFTs, but honestly, it goes way beyond that, you know?
Right.
Supply chain management, voting systems, digital identity. These are all areas where Algorand could really shake things up.
Yeah.
And it really seems like they figured out this whole usability thing, which, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, you're right. The quests were surprisingly easy to follow. Even for someone like me who's, I'm still relatively new to all this blockchain stuff.
Right.
It makes you realize like how important that user experience really is if this technology is actually going to go mainstream,
Yeah. Yeah, if it's too complicated, people just they won't bother.
Right.
But Algorand's found that sweet spot,
Ah.
They're keeping it user friendly without having to, sacrifice security or decentralization.
Right. So as we're wrapping up this deep dive into Algorand and their ecosystem, what's the one thing that you hope that our listeners that they walk away with?
I just hope they realize that Algorand it's more than just buzzwords.
Yeah.
It's a platform with the potential to really change how we interact, how we transact in the digital world, and with initiatives like these Coinbase learning rewards, they're really making it easy for anyone to be a part of it.
Couldn't agree more. It's a really exciting time to be exploring blockchain, and Algorand is definitely one to watch.
For sure. So listeners, if you're curious about the future of finance, technology, the internet itself, take a closer look at Algorand. You might just be surprised at what you find.
And hey, maybe you'll learn some crypto along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, one final thought for you to ponder. If you could build anything on the Algorand blockchain, what problem would you solve? What kind of innovative application would you create?
That's a great question to leave everyone with.
Right.
Get those creative blockchain juices flowing.
There you go.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.